if you stay committed to that 2 hours, that if whatever you wrote down on that paper, if you say I'm committed 5 to 7, I promise you're going to get a deal.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Welcome to another podcast episode. Today, we have a special guest coming all the way from Baltimore, the DMV area. Let's just call it that. It's from the DMV area. And, here's an individual who's doing really well in his real estate investing business. We're going to talk about wholesaling, by the way, but he's doing really well in his wholesale business with a small team, small budget, and without having to think about scaling and all of the other stuff that a lot of wholesalers think you have to do in today's market. So I wanted to get him on the line primarily because I know he's doing deals. Occasionally he'll post a check or two here on social media. So he's obviously killing it in this market. You guys know I love to bring on people who are actually doing deals in today's market so you can hear it from the horse's mouth. You can hear from people who are actually doing it rather than teaching it and not actually performing. All right. So what I really wanted to talk about today was how Mitt is actually getting, $20,000 to $30,000 a month coming in with a small budget. And I know that you guys are going to relate to that as well. Also, not having to hire a large team, maybe 2 to 3 people on a team, and to be able to operate this and keep most of the profits. See, a lot of people don't realize is when it comes to scaling, the more you scale, the more money you're going to dish out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what you really want to do is keep most of the profits. That's why you're in business, right? You're here to take care of your family and take care of your lifestyle. And sometimes scaling doesn't fit the average person's lifestyle, right? So we're going to talk about lifestyle today. I know Mitt has a family as well, like I do. But for the most part, I really want you to really get an understanding. Really, I wanted to tap into why you don't necessarily need to scale and why you don't need to worry about large budgets, but you can still make a lot of money if you put in the work. So let's go ahead and welcome Mitt Smith to the call today. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's up?
Doing all right, bro.
Yes, sir.
So, I know that you got a lot going on in your business today. I appreciate you taking out the time to talk to my peeps. And I just wanted to really get you on because I know that you have a story to share.
Yeah.
And I know that you're actually doing deals in today's market.
Yes, sir.
And I really like the flip that you have in there, meaning you kind of flip the script a little bit and you're not necessarily scaling. You're not necessarily working with a large team, but you're still making a lot of money without having to really put forth a lot of effort in your business. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this whole thing?
Yeah. So we got started when I graduated college in 2009 now. 2009, working a desk job, trying to figure life out like everybody else. So we came across real estate. Me and my friend Mike Nelson. We wanted to start a property management company. Why? I don't know why property management stuck out. I have no idea. But we tried to start that, realized you had to be affiliated with a licensed broker. So we said, forget that. Then we came across some YouTube channels. And then we was like, oh, these guys look like us. They got tats. They from inner cities. They posting checks $10,000. So we figured it out. Next thing you know, first year, we started the LLC, Smith and Nelson Properties, in I think 2011, but we didn't really do no deals in 2011, I don't believe. 2012 is when we turned our way up. Well, for us at the time, we did about 40 deals, me and my partner. And then my partner ended up branching off doing his own thing with some other, with another business, basically. So I was left alone. And this at the time when, no RVM, no SMS, cold calling wasn't really big. It was all letters, postcards, yellow letters, and way more expensive. But I think the yellow letters and the mailers, they stand through the test of time. No matter what's going on, the lawmakers ain't getting rid of mail. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't stop people from sending you mail. So this one, you could send out 1,000 letters.
The good old days, man.
You send out 1,000 letters, you getting deals from 1,000 letters. So we did that. So I did that from 2012, 13, and 14. And around, I would say, the end of 2014, the market started to be different as far as wholesaling, and the letters wasn't getting a good response no more. So, I'm spending $3 to $5 grand a month on letters. However, I'm only closing one deal a month for $5 grand. So it wasn't making sense no more.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I got money in the bank. I know real estate. What else can I do? So Chris Jefferson, actually, he the one who got me into rehabbing, because he was
I just had him on a podcast about a week ago, maybe a week.
Yeah, I heard that one. So 2015, me, him, a couple of our friends, we went to DR. We just went to DR vacation, and I was talking to him out there. He was talking about, yeah, man, he making all this stuff in rehabbing. So I said, all right. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit scared at the time because of all the horror stories I heard about rehabbing. But I jumped in full force. 2015, then my first rehab, got an $80,000 check. But to be honest with you, $50,000 was only profit. A lot of people post their checks. They post the $80,000 check, not knowing that they went over budget. $30,000 got to go back to credit cards. So yeah, so I had 80, but still, that was a lot of money. You know what I mean? I was happy. It was the first time doing it. Made 50. I netted 50 grand. So I kept going with the rehabbing. Mind you, I completely stopped wholesaling. So I'm relying on other wholesalers and realtors to bring me deals, which is no way. You should never stop wholesaling, because that's, that is the foundation of real estate, in my opinion, and the best way to make money. So I completely stopped. And I started rehabbing, and I literally stopped rehabbing until the beginning of last year. I sold my last rehab, in which I lost money on. And that's when I was like, all right, because the margin's getting so thin, wholesalers are eating, man. They making 20 grand doing nothing, and I'm buying it from them, and I'm about to make 40 grand and waiting 6 months to make that. Meanwhile, they made 20 grand literally in probably a week or two. So I was like, man, after I lost, I lost like 38 grand. And it wasn't my first time losing money on the rehab. And it was because the appraisal in Baltimore City, people who know, the rehab was in Baltimore City, it's a block by block basis. This block could be selling for 200,000. The next block over, house is selling for 50, literally. I'm talking about literally walking distance a block. And I got caught up in that. And it's my mistake. And that's all good. You live and you learn. So I was like, damn, do I want to keep rehabbing? So mind you, all I know is yellow letters and postcards. So, I got a group chat with a bunch of friends who wholesale, and they was, they talking about SMS, cold calling, REM. Mind you, I never did none of that. So I'm feeling like a rookie again when it comes to wholesaling. I know the fundamentals of how to get a deal and all that, but as far as these different technologies, no idea. So Chris Bruce, I'm not sure if you had him on your podcast yet.
Yeah, Chris is he was actually one of the first guests on the podcast.
Okay, so he put me on SMS, and I'm like, all right, let me just get this joint a shot. You know what I mean? So no systems in place enough. This is literally just me, and this is literally the beginning of last year. So I sent out, I think 1,000. I bought 1,000 leads of, I think, tax delinquents, I believe, and I just sent them out. And man, I'm getting hit up like the response rate is crazy. I'm like, I can't even handle 1,000 by myself. So. I'm like, yo, this is a real thing. People like text. I'm right, and I'm thinking like this is genius, because I'm directing sellers who have an issue, which means they didn't pay their taxes, to their phone, and they getting a direct buyer. Now I closed 3 deals from 1,000 leads, and I said, oh, all hands on deck. I'm all in. From there, I hired 2 VAs, and which they still both work with me today. I had one handling the call, like basically the outbound calls, because how I do things with SMS is after two replies from a text, we on the phone. We not having a whole conversation through text. We're just not doing it. I feel like you say yes, I'm interested. You're interested in selling your property. Either that initial response, I'm calling you, or I might ask you one more thing after that, and then we on the phone. We ain't got time to be, waiting. Next thing you know, you get distracted, and you're getting a text from another investor. So it's important to get on those phones. But moving forward, so after that, I said, okay, because to me, SMS wasn't enough. So I wanted one more channel. So I implemented cold calling, in which we got Mojo Dollar. And mind you, I'm doing all this for under $500 a month. So Mojo, we pay what?
$150.
Yeah, but we got 2 callers. I think it's like around 2 something.
Around 2. It's around 2. Because I
Yeah,
think they add, what they do is they add, if you want to add additional calls, I think it's like an extra $10 or something.
exactly.
Like that.
So I think it's around like 200, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check. It's around like 200. We got 2 callers, and then I got 2 callers, 2 VAs, and I got another VA who handles the SMS. And literally, I pay 2 of them $6 an hour. I pay another one $7 an hour, and that's it.
Are you doing text blast, or are you doing regular individual text?
Blast. So let's say if I just for numbers sake, I get 1,000. I get 1,000 leads. I'm gonna do 3 rounds of calls on Mojo Dollar, calling them out, and then we're gonna clean up the list. Who responded, who didn't. That same list gonna get implemented into our SMS platform, and we blasting them out because just because they won't pick up don't mean they won't text. You know what I mean? Right. So we usually get we between doing that, between hitting that list at least 4 to 5 times. After that, we put the list up for 6 months, and we come back and recycle that list. But man, just literally, that's as simple as it is. And I'm closing 4 deals a month doing that. Super easy. Of course, if you want more than 1,000 leads, of course, I'm just using that for number's sake. But and also we do list stacking as well, which is also something new that didn't exist.
It's been out for a few years, but
I'm talking about. Yeah, when during the yellow letter phases, I don't remember that ever existing. So that's even new to me. I started that the end of last year, the list stacking thing, which is crazy. Like all this technology, man, you ain't got to spend a boatload of money.
No, you don't. Not anymore.
You ain't got to leave your house. And it's the easiest time in wholesaling to make some money. Not saying that things may not change in the future, but right now, the way things are, and that's why you see, people jumping in the game, getting the deal in 30 to 60 days. Before, it might have took you a year, man. Now, it's really no excuse not to be able.
Everybody can make money in real estate today.
Anybody, man.
So right now you're focusing, I'm guessing you're focusing primarily on wholesaling, right?
Wholesaling only. I'm not messing right now. I'm not saying I will never rehab again, but right now there's no point to. When I can make the same amount of money, it would take 6 months to make in literally 30 days. I'm not touching rehabbing right now, man.
So you started off as a wholesaler, got into rehabbing, and went right back to wholesaling. Now that tells everybody that wholesaling is the way to go for a lot of people who want to get started in this business and make some consistent money with it as well. So, just kind of thinking about that for a minute. So let's talk about some of the systems and processes that you have in place. So obviously you have a family.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that you wrap your business around your lifestyle. That's kind of the way I wrap my business around. That's kind of the way I structured my business as well. It's wrapped around my lifestyle, right? So let's talk about that. So what were some of your goals when you transitioned from rehabbing back into wholesaling? Okay. And what was going through your mind when you said, okay, I want to keep it at this level? And I have a family. What's going through your mind at that point?
So I had my first child 2017 in the midst of thank you. In the midst of me rehabbing. So before having a child, more flexibility. You can kind of go and come as you want. Contractors having issues, a house having issues, you could just fly up to the house, take care of different things. Had a baby, and anybody who have a newborn, you want to be super supportive to your wife or the mother of your child. And I was having issues. And mind you, I'm married. So I'm like, all right, it's too early to be I got married in 2017 too. So it's too early to be arguing. We just got married. And it was because I wasn't available when she needed me. So I said, all right, I got to figure something out. And I was trying to make the rehabbing process more hands-off, which was damn near impossible.
That's impossible, man.
Not saying people can't do it, but for me, if something happened, I had to go. But I also got a family that I got to attend to. So, it was just problems. There was issues with me, my wife, the baby, being home more, and being supportive. So, I had to make a decision, man. And mind you, I'm trying to explain to my wife, understand that if I can, go and come and go as I please, the money gonna slow up, basically. You know what I mean? And so you got to pick, basically. It's like you got to choose. Because honestly, in my opinion, ain't no such thing as
because you don't have a consistent paycheck, so you got to get out there and grind,
so
right?
You gotta, exactly. So you got to know You got to figure it out, basically. You got to figure it out, and trying to balance that, it doesn't exist, man. People talk about balance. It's really no balance, man. It's no. You can't 50-50 that. You can't 50 business. You're gonna get 50% results if you go on 50% your business. You feel me? And the same thing with your family. So you're either gonna go all in with your family or you're gonna go all in with your business. And so I said, yo, what's the easiest way for me to bring in a decent amount of income and still be there with my family 100% of the time? And that was wholesaling. So I had to go back, and that's what made me second look like all this SMS and RVM stuff, because I'm on social media, so I see people talking about RVM, SMS, and I'm just thinking it's whatever. Like, it's just something that's going to come and go, like, how stuff come and go all the time. So I wasn't paying it no mind. So that's when I tapped into my inner circle with, Chris and Adora and all those guys. And they were showing me HUDs and conversations they was having with sellers on the SMS. And I'm like, man, I got to get this a try. And that's what made me get into it. And literally, they wasn't leaving their house. And the whole approach of the wholesaler attacking the seller and not waiting for a phone call from letters, that was big. Because we don't got to wait. We can go get them. We right at you. We can go pull a good amount of data of where, making sure the data that we pull is good data. If we trying to reach people in pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, we can get their information, their phone numbers in the midst of 5 minutes now. Couldn't do that before. We had to use a TLO. What else? I used to do something called microbit. This when they used to come inspect your office and your house to make sure you got a file cabinet and all that stuff. And you had it was like $1 a lead to do a skip trace on for one person.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's all I knew, though. You know what I mean? So I felt like a rookie again last year. I literally felt like a rookie at wholesaling. And the thing is, people think you got to choose between being a rehabber and even a landlord and a wholesaler. You can do all of them. Yep. You don't got to choose, because I completely stopped wholesaling to do rehab and thinking I only could pick one. I don't know why I was thinking that way. It was stupid, because I was paying wholesalers 10, 20 grand to something I could have did my damn self. You feel me? So once I found that, and now, right now my baby is at my toddler is at daycare. But even when she come home, if I want to, I still can work, because everything is so remote now that I don't have to do anything. The systems I use, this is literally all I need. I use DocuSign. I use PropStream to do the comps. I use Mojo for the call, and I use Roar for SMS. Literally, that's all I got, I believe. That's it. And
no overhead, man. And a
couple overhead. I don't have an office. Listen, literally, I'm in a room right now in my place. I don't have no American employees paying $20, $30 an hour. Not saying that's the bad thing. You can scale, and that's a good thing, but you got to understand that build your business around your lifestyle, not the other way around, because you don't want to be consumed in your business that next thing you know, you got a daughter who 5 and she gonna got a good relationship with you. Like, for me, man, family is everything to me. I grew up, in a broken family. Dad wasn't there. Mom died early. So it's like, I got to make sure that's intact, man. So that's way more important than, and the thing is, real estate, and the thing a lot of people say is, it's not my passion, man. Like, I know how to do it and I'm good at it. So why not make money in it? But it's not something like, if I was a billionaire right now, I probably wouldn't be doing real estate, man. You know what I mean? It's truly not a passion of mine. It's just something I know how to do. So I'm like, I know how to do it. It's easy. It doesn't cost me a lot. Why not just do it? But it's really not my passion. It's a means to it, and a way to build some wealth. But it's my family, my passion, man. And just, spending time with them is way more important. When she get off, when my baby get out of the daycare, I go pick her up. I'm gonna get ice cream, and I don't really want to talk outside of my working hours. I don't even want to be talking real estate with people. And other people, they think otherwise. They want to go to meetings, they go on vacation, they still doing work. I'm not that guy. I go on vacation, not doing no real estate work. I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying my life. Life's too short for that. I can't just be consumed over trying to make because I got caught up in that. I want to make 6 figures a month. that takes a
And
lot of
here's the
work.
deal. Hey, that's an important point. Number one, I love the transparency.
Yeah.
Number two, let's talk about that for a minute. Because you see it, 6 figures a month might work well for one person, but it might not work as well for another person.
Yeah.
You understand? So again, that goes back to the lifestyle thing that we were just talking about, right? What, at the end of the day, we're talking to people who have done a few deals. Maybe they have successful businesses, but then we're also talking to individuals that are looking to get started.
Okay.
And they don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
Right. So it's important for them to hear both sides of the fence. So you have, so you have individuals that say, yes, I want to do 6 figures every month. The question becomes, why do you feel like you need to do six figures every single month in order to be happy? The same 20 to 30. Why do you feel like you need more than $10 million? Why do you feel like you need more than $1 million? Right.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you need $1 billion? Different people have different expectations for different things. Yeah. But what can't you do with $20,000 to $30,000 a month that you're gonna do with $100,000 a month? It's the same thing.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. I had to before even this whole entrepreneur thing and real estate even became a thing. And when the average person just went to school and their dreams was to become maybe a doctor or something, we was going to be good with making 200, 300,000 a year. We was we made it. Now it's like
where I come from, we made it with that.
you made it. And it's like, damn, now we get so infatuated with, I got to do $100,000 a month. It's just like, all right, what is it about 100,000 a month that you want?
It's the hype, man. It's everybody. They see with their eyes. They see they see the I'm not going to mention any names, but they see the private jets and the Bentleys and all of this other stuff, and they feel like they need to have it as well. I'm not saying that it's bad. If it's
not bad,
go out and get it. You know what I mean? But do it because you want to do it, not because you see somebody on Instagram with it.
And let me explain something. If you got zero debt, right, and you don't have a bunch overhead, and you're making $30,000 a month.
Oh, you're doing well.
That's way more than enough than what you ever want. You can do anything you want in life, literally. I mean, even if you wanted to go rent a Maybach, you could lease a Maybach on $30,000 a month.
You figure you could buy a Maybach. I mean, a Maybach payment is going to be right around $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. On $30,000, that's 10% of your income. You're doing well.
And to do $100,000 a month, I mean, you probably would know better than I would do. That required a lot more time and stress, for sure. I don't want that. I promise you, I don't want that. I had my moments where I seen everybody doing $100,000 a month, and I started looking more into it. Like, yo, these are cats, and they literally. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that everything they saying is true. But these are cats that's in their 20s. They're not no kids, no wife. They have no responsibility.
No responsibility.
Whole different ball game. If I was 20 and this was all happening right now, maybe, all right, I'm going all in, and I wouldn't mind because it's just me. I don't have to worry about anybody else. But when you got your family on your back, you can't live real estate all day long unless you know what I mean.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I've been in the education space for a long time. I've been in the real estate business since 2002, education since 2006 now, right? I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and most people just want to make $10,000 a month. They just want to make $10,000 a month.
It's usually the starting point for people. They say, I want to make $10,000 a month. Yep.
But then what happens after that $10,000 a month start to come in? People start to get a little bit of greed kicks in, right? Yeah. They want a little bit more, and then a little bit more after that. And that causes people to start building this business that they never really intended on building in the first place. Yeah. And they become a stressed out business owner at that point.
And there's nothing wrong with, because I don't want people to walk away.
It's not absolutely
nothing wrong with making it.
If it's for you, you don't want to do it because you see somebody on social media doing it.
Exactly.
Do it because you want to do it for yourself, if that's your personal goal. But don't do it because you see somebody else doing it and you feel like you could do it too. That's not the right, you don't have the right motive at that point.
Exactly, man. And honestly, man, for those cats who got the $6,000 a month office with the 20 employees, and the shaky times we in now,
Yeah,
just be aware, of where they gonna be at in the next, maybe year or so. Just
that's right.
see who stuck around, see who's still, Jamel, you've been around since 2008. You ain't never go nowhere. You
No,
still here.
still here.
You still, you know what I mean? So let's just see, because there's a lot of people I came in with, and I say the freshman class of 2012. I remember it was a lot of us, and there's only a handful left.
That's
And
right.
I pay attention to. I see some people, they doing drop shipping with Amazon now. They ain't even doing real estate no more. They doing all kinds of stuff, man. And it's
Back in 2002 when I started, man, it was just a different ball game all the way around. It was kind of like the market around 2013, 2014. So
Yeah.
from 2002 to 2006, I cleaned up. I did really. I was 21 when I started, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then come 2000 and we're talking 2008, 2009, I wasn't out of business, but I was bankrupt because I had too much money in the market.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily diversifying. I wasn't wholesaling anything. I was doing nothing but rehabbing.
Yeah.
So I had all of that money in the market and couldn't sell a house. Come 2009 to 2012, I started wholesaling REOs. And that's when I came out with the Repo Riches course.
Okay.
And from there, from 12 to now, it's been a mixture of everything for me. But I slowed down on the rehabs about 2 years ago. And the new builds, I stopped last year. Because I don't know where this market is going. I don't want to have too much money in the market. That's where I messed up before. And now I feel like at the end of the day, wholesaling is going to keep me safe. Creative real estate investing is going to keep cash flow coming in and keep huge chunks of money. So I get the best of all worlds with those two strategies right there. And I don't necessarily have to do wholesaling, and I don't necessarily have to do rehabbing or building new construction anymore. I can just focus on wholesaling and creative investing.
Exactly, man. It's so many ways to live, man. And
But
I just wanted to point out something, because you had mentioned, people out here, if they fake or not, because it's easy for a newbie to come into the game trying to learn, and they might see a person who's so-called a guru with 50, 60, $70,000 followers, and just because they got that, them followers don't mean they're killing the business. Like,
it doesn't validate them as real estate investors.
What I found out, what I realized is, man, the cats who really killing it, man, they be having under $20,000 followers, man, who really doing this business. Because this is the thing. If somebody got time to do a live every day, to post all education stuff all day, when do they got time to really do their business? Unless they got a whole media team and all this. And there's some guys who got that, but for the most people, no, they ain't doing the business. There's no way you can do both with that much.
It's hard.
They live on Instagram. Right? Can't live on Instagram talking about education and doing the business. You can't.
I love that, man. I love that statement, because, we just talked about this right before we jumped on this call. I've been trying to figure out how to do both. I realize, and it's been, again, I've been in the education space. It's going to be 14 years. Real estate is going on 18. It's going to be 19 years now.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when I started the education platform, I was still doing real estate, but not at the scale that I was before I started it, because you can't, it's hard to juggle both. Can it be done? Yes, it can. But I've yet to meet anybody that absolutely crushes it on a high level in either education or real estate. It's either going to be one or the other.
Yeah.
You can have that fine median and do both, which is kind of where I'm at, right? I crush it more so in real estate than education.
But you could be solidified though, Jamel. That's the thing. People could do their research. They could ask for people who've been in the game. Yo, have you heard of Jamel Gibbs? Yeah, he's been doing this since such and such. You could pull up stuff in different groups of you commenting, posting stuff. Like, it's so easy. People just, if you go on somebody's Instagram page and the first post they had was January of 2019, talking about it's just like, come on, like, use common sense. You know what I mean? It's just like,
but just kind of going back to what I was saying, at the end of the day, for me, I found a fine medium for me because, like I told you, my goal originally for this year was to do $6 million in real estate. And I realized in order for me to get to the 6 million, it's going to take me more overhead and more staff. I don't, personally, I don't want to build that up primarily because I'm not going to be making that much more money. I'm just, all of that money is basically going towards team and overhead. It doesn't make sense to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable where I'm at. So do I need to build up a huge, do I need to continue scaling rather my real estate business? I don't feel like, if that was my goal, then yes. But right now where I'm at, I'm comfortable. So now my education space, I'm kind of comfortable where it's at as well. So I have a fine balance between the two. Could I be killing it if I just focused on one or the other? Absolutely. But that's not what I want. I like time and freedom. I spend my time with my family. Same as you, man. That's why I love your story so much. And you remind me a lot of myself. We don't necessarily need to go for the gusto when we good with what we have, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, with a person like you, Jamel, honestly, you deserve. You are capable. Like, you can completely stop real estate and do the information space full time, all in, and that'll be okay because you already proved. You said since 2002 you've been doing it, so it's not like you just come out of nowhere trying to teach stuff. You've been through it all. So it's okay for somebody like you to go ahead and just be a full-time teacher and just make money off that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a problem. It's just a problem when you've been doing the business for a year.
Yeah.
Trying to, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
like
it.
some people, it's fine for some people this to be all education. There's nothing really wrong with that at all. Like, you know what I mean? If a doctor was practicing medicine for 20 years and decided they just want to teach medicine now and they want to practice it, that's fine. Because they did everything. They seen everything you could see as a doctor. Now they can teach it. Same thing with you. But when you're trying to come in and you did 2-3 deals,
I get it.
You can mentor your little brother. That's it. After your little brother, you don't need to be out here. Not saying you can't, because at the end of the day, taking advantage of social media is a lucrative business, and a lot of people doing it. So I don't knock them, but just be mindful of who you paying your thousands of dollars to teach you that. Because they haven't seen everything. So when you come across a hiccup and you go to them and they don't got the answer for you, then that's what you pay for.
That's right.
That's what you get. You know what I mean?
Man. So let's talk about, let's give our listeners a 3-step process on, let's just say that they're starting from scratch. We're talking to somebody starting from scratch, don't have a large budget right now. Let's give them a 3-step process on how they get process.
And I felt like I was in this space last year, literally beginning of last year, even though I got prior experience, but I felt like I was a newbie again. Literally. All right. I will stay in my market for now. So let's just say you're in Baltimore. So I will pull a list. Let me see what list. The easiest list right now, honestly, I would just get vacants. The most, to me,
high equity vacants.
A vacant property is the best motivation I need, in my opinion. If your property is motivated and you got some equity in it, I'm buying it. And so I will buy on a limited budget. So what's the question? So 3-step process. They brand new.
Get to the first deal.
First deal. They got money. They got no money. What's
very little, limited on capital right now.
Limited on capital. All right, just give me a figure so I could know with the.
Let's just say that they're working with, most people are working with about $500 a month.
$500. Cool. That's good. So I will buy a list of 1,000 to 2,000 vacant leads in Baltimore City. And we're just saying if you lived in Baltimore, wherever you live at. Literally go upload that list into a software. I use batch skip tracing. You can use whatever. I don't know if you got a plug. Whatever Jamel advised you to use. You'll literally get that back the same day. I would use.
You're gonna get the list, and you're gonna skip trace the list.
Get the list, skip trace the list. You're gonna get all that back. This literally all could be done in a day. That's the crazy part. You got a list of 1,000 potential leads.
Let's pause there for a second, because a lot of people get, and this is important for us to bring out. A lot of people feel like they need the websites and they need all the CRMs and all of this stuff. Do they need all of that to get started?
Use Google Sheets if you want a CRM, man.
Thank you.
Everything, all this stuff, honestly, it's free versions of everything we do. Honestly, you can even go download a free app to give you a different phone number right from your phone, so you don't even got to use your personal phone number. I think Google Voice costs money now. I believe. I'm not sure, but
I still use it for free, man.
Yeah, well, it's free. You Google Voice, man. You literally That's all you need. Even if you got like a 9 to 5, 2 hours a day of straight cold calling that list, you're going to get a deal in 30 days. You're going to get a contract in 30 days. If you just dedicate only 2 hours, that's it. Time block 2 hours. And I would prefer 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's like a hot spot for me when it comes to cold calling. And that's because most sellers are off of work and they're home and they're by their phone. Because usually when you call during the day, I get a lot of, well, it's a bad time, I'm at work, can you call me at night? So we just gonna hit you right at night. 5 to 7 for 30 days straight, you're gonna get a deal. And the weekends as well.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned cold calling because a couple of years, we're probably talking like 2017-ish, and one of my Facebook groups for my coaching students, I sat there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, from 5 to 7. It's funny that you mention it, and I straight cold call all these numbers. This is about 3 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago, I sat there and cold call live on a Facebook Live, and got a deal right on the phone.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still posted in the group right now. It's funny that you mentioned that.
5 to 7. I had to learn that for myself. That 5 to 7, because I had my VAs call him 9 to 5 every day, and it was wasted money because they calling, and I'm like,
getting enough people.
Yeah, so I started to do the evenings to hit that to see the conversion rate. I was like, yo, we're getting way more contacts, way more, like triple the amount. I said, you know what? So literally from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day, 4 hours, you got 2 VAs just calling. And they home, sellers are home, they tired, then they, you know what I mean? They by their phone. And even honestly, because there's some people out there, cold calling is scary. It's scary. Forget cold calling then. If you want it, that's the same scenario. You got $500, pull that list, get the numbers back, SMS them. Forget, just SMS them. Listen, this is the thing. I was telling my friend who want to get into wholesaling, I said, yo, sometimes it's better just to be completely like a rookie and get into real estate, because you don't start questioning stuff. You just do stuff. And you start seeing action and start seeing results. And honestly, when I started the SMS last year, I really ain't know too much about. They said it was like a blacklist. You got to do the do not call list and all this. I'm like, yo, I ain't think about all that right now. Like, I ain't think about none of that. I just sent out texts. They saying what you should say in a text. I wasn't trying to get them to all that. I just sent them out and got deals closed just by being just oblivious to all that stuff. And sometimes that's the best place to be in. You know what I mean? Because when you start thinking you know stuff, you start, man, next thing you know, you overthinking. You doing too much. Just do it.
You know, there's a saying, man, and I learned this when I used to work on Wall Street years ago. They used to say, if you know nothing about sales right now, and now, you know, after a couple months, you'll learn about sales. But if I took you if I took somebody that was brand new, I took somebody that was trained, and I put the one that was brand new in a dark room, let's just say, with nothing in there but a table and a phone, I guarantee that person will close more sales than the person who learned how to do the business. Because they got to figure out how to do it versus hearing what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not big on like if you hire a coach or something and they might give you a script. Let's say, and it's like you ain't even do it yet to know what fits you, because every script should be, you know, catered to how you are. And it's like when you're a rookie and you just get on that phone, figure it out. And then you start jotting down what works for you. Make your own script instead of taking somebody else what works for them, because it ain't going to be the same. It's a different market, different person, different personality. So I think it's so important just to honestly jump out there and just figure it out. When I got into rehabbing, I got a little bit of advice from some people who rehab, but I said, yo, man, like I'm hearing different things from different people. I just jumped in, got an $80,000 check first one. You know what I mean? I just figured it out, got it done. When you got that, get it done mentality by any means necessary.
That's me all the way, man.
Honestly. Man, you ain't worried about if he say this, she say that. Well, he said do it this way, make the carpet this. Nah, man, let's get it done, man. Let's just get it done. And that's the best way to be when you starting out. And before you even come to a coach, you should have tried it first. Try it, and then like, you know what? All right, I tried it. It ain't work out. Let me go get a coach. I tried it. I got one deal.
That's a major problem. Most people they want to get a coach before they actually tried the business.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And to me, that's kind of like wasted money a little bit, because a coach is not there to do the business for you. A coach is there to show you how to improve what you already tried.
You're not gonna go to Michael Jordan teach you to play basketball if you never dribbled a basketball before.
Exactly.
He gonna look at you wasting my time. It don't matter how much you're about to pay him. You will be more of a headache to him than how much you're going to give him. He ain't want the headache. Don't come to Jamel, try as a new student who never even tried nothing. And now he literally got to tell you what real estate is.
Yeah.
You haven't looked at nothing. At the end of the day, you could be paying him 20 grand, but that 20 grand might not even be worth the headache and the amount of time it's going to take for you, to ask him. So learn something first. You know what I mean? I'm not saying go do a subject to deal, nothing like that, but learn something, do something, try something.
Learn how to drop some leads or something.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I get it, man. I just had a student who came in. He met me. He found me on YouTube. Yeah. Came in to the group about a week and a half ago, and he literally, he been trying real estate. He went out, ordered some postcards, ordered some banner signs and everything. Then he got into my program, and I had to make some adjustments for him. But we got a deal the first week. We're actually going to be closing on a deal that's going to put $60,000 to $70,000 in his pockets. Man.
Congrats! And you see, you had something to work with when he came in.
Exactly.
You just had to adjust what he already did.
That's
so
it.
You ain't had to start from literally scratch. That would have been. He would have had no deal right now.
Yep, exactly, man. But that just goes to show, if you get out there and do something, then hire somebody to help take you by the hand and guide you the rest of the way. That's more beneficial than sitting there and trying to get somebody to help you when you know absolutely nothing. It's a little, it's a different ball game. So we have step number one: skip trace. We want to get the list, skip trace the list.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Depending on what kind of person you are. If you're not scared of cold calling, I will upload that list.
Cheapest way to get started, man.
But if you really scared to call, I will even say get over it. Stop being scared. Get over it, or upload into a SMS platform. You got Lead Sherpa. You got Smarter Connect. One of those, and just text. Mm-hmm. I would prefer that you do call just to get that experience, and but some people they scared to. So either one, they literally, you could do some RVMs. I never personally did RVMs. I don't really like RVMs, but I'm sure they work too.
So we do a lot of RVMs and texting and postcard. We do a lot of everything, but we pick up at least 2 contracts a week from RVMs, man.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it.
I would say text messaging is definitely a really viable way to go right now because everybody's doing RVMs. Yeah. But eventually text messaging is going to dry up too. So you're going to have to be innovative in what you do as a marketer. Remember, in real estate, you're a marketer first, then a problem solver, then a real estate investor. Yeah. But that's
the key part I left out, man. At the end of the day, you definitely want to be out here trying to solve these sellers' problems, man, because that's ultimately how you're going to get these deals closed. You can't go into it thinking the money first, that's all I used to care about. Like, I just got to make this amount. Nah, man, like, they really be needing help, and you got to be assertive, man. You definitely need to be when you're talking to these sellers, you got to understand what the issue is and try to figure out how you can solve that issue, because that's ultimately really that's going to get the deal closed. Because if you're going in there when you money hungry, they really can sense that, and they're gonna be like, "Nah, I don't want to sell to you." They're gonna find somebody else who really can solve their problem. Right. That's super important.
I've gotten deals over the years where the seller just like me because I'm sitting there trying to help them versus just lowballing the price on their home, man. So you definitely want to solve problems, because the more you can help the seller, the more money you'll make at the end of the day anyway. So
man, I just had a deal last month, man. I had to help this lady find an apartment and get the U-Haul, and I had to hire some movers.
That's okay, man.
You see, and that's part, and you know what?
Part of the business.
You gotta be willing to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You got to.
Because if nobody else is willing to do it, they're not willing to get that $20,000-$30,000 check.
And that's the thing. I think other wholesalers hit her up before, but she was saying no because she didn't have nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. So once I figured that out, then I was able to serve her better. You know what I mean? Or I can help you, find a place to live, this, that, and the third.
I did a deal with my daughter, and we cashed a check. I'm not sure if you saw that video on YouTube or not, but I cashed a check with her. It was like a $13,000 check, right? So we did the deal. The lady's biggest problem was she inherited the house from her husband who died.
Yeah.
And she wanted an apartment, but she didn't want to sell the house until she found an apartment. So I went around looking for places for her, couldn't find anything that was suitable. So I said, what if you just stayed here, and I negotiated with my cash buyer that she gets to stay in the house and she'll pay him rent, $500 a month, until she finds a place. And we made it all work. So he was okay with it. He collected $500 a month right off the bat. And she gets to stay in the same house that she's been in until she finds a place where she can move, just so I could get the deal done, right? And we ended up making $13,000. Now, obviously, my daughter watched the whole thing, and I let her pick up the check and go through the whole motions of the whole thing. But that was a good example of solving someone's problem in order to get to the end goal, which is cashing that check. Right.
Super important. And it's hard to be in that mindset when you're starting off and you super broke and all you need money. So it is. It's like a mental battle. Like, I ain't worried about these people problems. I got problems. So I need this money. I'm trying to get a deal. That's the mindset you be in when you really broke and you start out. So I definitely can understand, but you definitely you got to keep the seller in the back. You got to keep the seller's problems in the back of your mind for sure.
That's right. So we got step number 1, get that list and skip traces. Step number 2, upload it or upload it to an SMS platform or start cold calling. What would you consider to be step number 3?
So you said upload it into an SM. Bro, you gotta. So what? After you already calling?
Whatever you feel step number 3 is at that point, because you
gotta start calling. I said, listen. Step 3, you start calling. Commit to a time frame. 2 hours. I prefer 2 hours a day, 5 to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Commit to that. Matter of fact, Saturday, you probably should even do more because they're not at work.
That's right.
But at least just commit to Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Just commit, and that's a small commitment. That's not nothing. But you're definitely going to see some traction, and you should be able to get a deal in 30 days for sure.
I love it, man. So especially in this market, you can definitely get a deal. So number 1, get the list and skip trace. Number 2, figure out if you're going to do text messaging or what marketing platform you're going to use. Number 3, get started. And commit to it, because the commitment is how you're going to actually make the money. And that's basically what it is. It's really that simple, guys. It's not hard at all.
The hardest part is staying committed, man. That's the hardest part, because you're going to go 15 days. Everybody going to say no.
Yep.
Everybody going to say no. If you stay committed to that 2 hours, that if whatever you wrote down on that paper, if you say I'm committed 5 to 7, I promise you're going to get a deal. Now, you can't do 2 days, take off Wednesday, do 1 hour Thursday, 2 hours. Nah, can't do that. That ain't what you committed to. No, the universe is real. Commit to that. Stick to that. That energy real, and you're going to get the deal, man. You're going to get it. You better have your shots of 5-hour energy ready. Whatever you got to do. You get off work, hit the phones, man. Commit.
That's right. Work, man. Now, here's the deal. At the end of the day, most people are going to be afraid, but eventually, what you want to keep in mind is you want to stay outside of your comfort zone to get to where you want to go. You never want to be comfortable, right? Yeah. So most people will be a little afraid, but that's going to go away real quick. Yeah. Trust me, when you pick up the phone, you start talking to some of these people, that fear that you have is non-existent. It's something that you're putting in your head. You got to stop telling yourself that story. So just take action. That's really what it's all about, just getting out there and getting it done. So at the end of the day, you want to get started by step number 1 is to pull the list. Step number 2 is to decide on what you want to do, meaning whether it's going to be text messaging or it's going to be cold calling, which is probably
skip trace the list.
Yeah, you want to skip trace the list once you get it.
Yeah.
Then you want to decide on the avenue you want to take, and then just stick with it. Be consistent in order to get that deal closed. The consistency part, especially in today's market, the consistency part is what's going to get you to the check. It don't matter what you do. You just got to be consistent with whatever it is that you decide.
The competition is real right now in this market. You got everybody a wholesaler.
But here's the deal, though. That's a valid point. Here's the deal, right? So, I used to tell people this 5 years ago. I would say, look, so how many, and let's go through this exercise together, Mitt. So so you're in Baltimore, right? That's your market. You're in the DMV area. How many real estate investors would you say on the DMV area? Real estate investors.
Honestly,
just throw a number out there.
4,000.
All right, so 4,000, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get the point why I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
Now, how many homes would you say are in the DMV area? How many houses?
Baltimore City are
The
just
DMV.
I don't, 1 million.
Let's say 1 million. Okay.
Right.
So now, how many of those properties would you say are in actual distress?
I would say at least 10%.
10%. So 100,000.
Yeah.
Now you got 4,000 investors we agreed upon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now 100,000 houses.
Mm-hmm. More
Can
than
4,000 people really buy up 100,000 houses?
Hey, man.
What's the chances of that happening?
Man, look, it's not likely.
Not likely.
Not
Now,
likely.
here's another thing. Think about this, right? And again, this is something I would teach at my seminars a few years ago. Just validating the point that competition is non-existent.
Yeah.
You're your own competition, and that's real. Because at the end of the day, if you think about this for a minute, if you got 100,000 houses and you got 4,000 investors, the chances are very unlikely that basically what I'm saying is there's plenty out there for everybody. The chances of you running into another investor on the same deal is slim. It might happen every once in a while, but the chance, if you're in my market right now, you probably never ran into me on a deal unless I'm directly doing business with you. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the point is the competition is high right now, but chances are you're never gonna, there's more than enough out there for everybody. You're never gonna run. You're never not gonna have deals.
And if you even want to go a little deeper, those 4,000 investors, they're really not investors. They people.
Right. A lot of them are lookers.
1,000 of them not gonna close a deal.
You might have a couple of hundred who are real investors.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
And that's evident when you go to these REI meetings and stuff like that. These clubs, you know, most of the people there are looking to get started. Mm-hmm. But then you have the handful that are real investors who've been doing the business for a while. So that's a fact right there.
Yes.
But that's the point I wanted to make. Don't think about the competition because you're your only competition. At the end of the day, you can't, you know, if you really think about it logically, the active real estate investors can't buy up every single deal that's in the area. Even if your goal is to do, let's say 2 deals, how many deals are you doing every month right now? You said
about four.
So 4 deals a month, right? So you got an active investor, Mitt, doing 4 deals a month. If you wanted to do 4, that's only 8 houses in a month.
Yeah.
Right now, let's just say you had 200 of those. That's only what? What is that? 8,000 houses.
Yeah.
8,000 houses a month.
And the crazy, the last 2 deals I closed was with a part like.
It's not even 8,000. At 200 times 8, that would be 800 houses a month. Is that about right? Yeah. My math is off right now.
Nah. Wait, say it again.
So we had 200 investors doing
200 investors,
8 houses a month. That's 1,600.
See, we real estate investors, we don't even know our numbers.
8 times. Wait, let's do 200 times 8. That's 1,600. So that's 1,600 houses a month. That's still, if we use the example that Mitt just, look, we're real estate investors, right? The math is off right now. I need a calculator. But thinking about that for a minute, if there was 100,000 houses, that's 10 years worth of deals right there for every investor in the area who's only doing 4 deals a month.
4 deals a month. Yeah, no, that's true.
Killing.
That's facts. And I'm considered, a small investor. You know what I mean? 4 deals really compared to what a lot of guys are doing out here, it's nothing. But
yeah,
you can make 20,000-30,000 a month doing 4 deals a month.
Okay. Which is fantastic, man.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you with a small budget, small team, you can make the $20,000-$30,000 a month right now on 4 deals. That's what
only 5, like between $500 to $1,000 a month. That's the only budget you need. That's it.
And that's it. And you're good to go. But most people think you need this large budget. Most people are afraid.
You want to take it there. Yeah, I mean, you can take it there, but
you can. But most people are afraid of the unknown, and that's the problem. They're afraid to take that step. But my thing is, you got to jump out the window and figure out how to sew the parachute on the way to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you're going to, in 2 years from now, when the market is different, you're still going to be wishing you would have jumped in when you could jump in. And the easiest time to get paid right now, figure it out. You can make mistakes right now and make money.
Yeah, y'all bet it, man. Listen, today we're recording this. Economy is in the stock market. Everything is looking like in shambles. Man, y'all better get it now, man. You don't know how much longer this market gonna be like this. This is the time to go and get it now. And we talking about competition. If you go to my Instagram, my last post, I believe it's my last post, my last 2 deals, I couldn't find buyers for it. And I partnered with another wholesaler, and he brought me buyers. We closed both of them joints.
You know, that's the way I run my dispositions, man. All I do, I have my VAs who literally, and this is my situation. So because I run my education space, I just manage my real estate business at the moment. But I have a couple of VAs who do all of my acquisitions. They will get the leads in. They'll send out the leads for me. They skip trace the leads for me. They get on the phone. They cold call the leads for me. We send out postcards and do direct mail, and we do ringless voicemail and text messaging as well. We also send out emails. But they get the people on the phone. They screen them. They make offers right on the spot. If I need to set up an appointment to see the house, they'll do that. But if not, they'll send them a contract through DocuSign. And then they'll send it over to me. And then all I do is I send it out to my wholesalers in the area and let them sell it. So that's my disposition team right there, my other wholesalers. That's how I find a deal, they sell them.
And if it gets to a point where I really truly can't sell a deal, I mean, I have a realtor. She's not particularly working for me, but we got an agreement. So she just put all my stuff on the MLS. My assignment deals on the MLS. And they always sell on the MLS. That's like last resort though, because she really don't like putting assignments on the MLS. Right. But she do it, and we are. Isn't not this year. We just this year.
If you need to, just close it, man, and then
exactly. And in Baltimore, these houses, man, you talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 houses, man. They ain't expensive. It's not like where houses be $500,000 and all that. These little houses, so if we had to close them, we can, but we usually can sell them because they are cheap. And another thing is, with this market we in, most of our buyers are in New York and California because it's too expensive there. They be coming over here, and they don't even be seeing the properties, man. I send them detailed pictures, and they be closing. That's how crazy this market is right now, man.
Crazy.
You got to take advantage of this, man.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of it. So if you had to give, let's say, some words of wisdom to our listeners, what would those words of wisdom be?
Words of wisdom. Don't think, just do it, man. Don't think, just do it. Like, I think real estate, I mean, you think real estate, you think, if you never bought any real estate, when you think real estate, you think you got to be like a high net worth person to buy real estate or this, that, and the third. But once you get the concept of, I have to buy a property really cheap and sell it to somebody a little bit more expensive. That's it. Honestly, bro, I think it's just one of those things that you got to just have it in you. Like, you just got to just be that dude. Like, just do it. If I want to get something done, I'm going to do it.
Take action.
When you're back against the wall, especially when you're back against the wall, when you hit rock bottom, that when you had to go through your bankruptcy, you ain't have no choice but to grind that out.
And I had kids. I had 2 kids. My wife, I had one daughter and one on the way, man. So it was a difficult time, man.
This is what I will say. If you don't make it happen, it's because you didn't want it to.
That's right.
If it don't happen, it's because you ain't want it. That's it.
You ain't want it bad enough.
That's it.
You ain't want it bad enough. That's right, man.
If it didn't happen, it's because you didn't want it.
I love it, man.
That's really all it comes down to, man.
So how can our listeners get in contact with you if they follow you on social media?
I don't got no crazy websites and no coaching programs and like that, but on Facebook, Mitt Smith, M-I-T Smith. Instagram, Mitt215, MIT215. I post about real estate, my family stuff. I post some inappropriate stuff I'll say sometimes too. It ain't all, you know what I mean? I'm a regular guy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not in this to, build this big business and teach all these people and be perfect and all like that. Hey, I'm regular, just like who probably about to listen to this. You know what I mean? I'm just doing deals. So one thing, you can reach me, DM me, whatever you need. yeah, I mean, I answer questions for free. Just don't, don't come with too many questions.
Don't take advantage.
Yeah, don't take advantage. Man. Yeah, that's
I
it.
know you and your wife have a family page as well on YouTube.
Yeah, my wife's name is Jaleesa Smith. So if you type in Jaleesa Smith,
I'll link it in the description box on YouTube.
Yeah. She big into fitness. She actually really know her stuff. But she been doing this for a long time. She used to compete. She won a couple trophies in competing. So
she's right up my alley, man. I used to compete. I haven't competed in about 15 years now, but I'm still in a bodybuilding.
That's crazy because my wife first year competing, never did nothing like this, and won first place overall. Everybody, it was like 56 girls and won, and
wow.
that's what we just was talking about. When you starting off, you just do it and you just get it done, and you see the results. You just won, and then our second competition, she came in fourth, overthinking stuff. I got to do this. I got to do this. Nah, just do what you did the first time. You thinking too much. Same thing with wholesaling.
Rinse and repeat, man.
Yeah, rinse and repeat, man. Same thing. However you got your first deal, do the same thing to get your second. Don't do nothing different, man.
So Instagram at Mitt
215.
215. That's MIT 215. Check him out on Instagram. I know he's on Facebook as well. I'm not sure if you have enough room because I know you're pretty popular.
I don't know. I don't know, bro. Mitt Smith, but
definitely follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely enjoy what he posts. He doesn't post a lot, but he posts significant stuff.
Yeah.
I follow you as well. That's how I know.
Okay.
But, definitely check him out. And, again, guys, it's all about taking action. Listen to what Mitt was talking about. I know it was a casual conversation today. That's what this podcast is meant to be. It's meant to be real, and it's meant to be for you to be able to learn from just two real estate investors talking about what the business is really like. I want you guys to know the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to this business. And whether it be you're just getting started or you're in the business right now, just trying to increase your income in the business or get your next deal. That's the benefit of hearing the good, the bad, and the ugly from a podcast like this. So I appreciate y'all listening. And Mitt, man, I really appreciate you jumping on today and just being real transparent with your business and how things actually work in this business as well.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
But listen, guys, I'm going to talk to you on the next one. And until then, take massive action if you want massive results.